this play because this guy comes out of nowhere. What you doing?
Pick that up in the 4th round? I mean, that's a steal for us.
When you talk about championships in this city, they are all tied to RFK.
All right, Fred, me and you going to the first game at RFK on a boat.
I got you, baby.
Welcome into another episode of Command Center. Now, the 2025 NFL Draft is over, which means we have to highlight and welcome our newest class of commanders. Then, Super Bowl champion and future Hall of Famer Brian Mitchell joins the show to talk about the draft and the big RFK announcement. And last but not least, the prospect professor, Logan Paulson, is getting into the film room to break down our newest commanders. All that and more starts right now on Command Center.
I can still hear the crowds. When I first stepped into RFK Stadium, I knew I'd found a home. The roar of the fans, the energy of the city, united as one, was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. RFK Stadium was the stage for the world's greatest in sports, culture, and entertainment, all in the heart of our nation's capital. It's time to revive that legacy. Let's bring the Commanders home. A new stadium will serve as the anchor for the RFK site, unlocking new opportunities for generations to come. This means new housing, new restaurants, retail, and public spaces are all possible. The stadium development will create new access to the Anacostia waterfront while preserving some of our city's treasures. A world-class city deserves a world-class stadium, uniting a sea of burgundy and gold. Something that unites us in our pride for the district. The time is now. Let's bring Washington back to D.C.
Welcome into Command Center, fellas. We are headed back to the crib. Brian Cooper Jr. here, Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss, Mr. 2 to the 1 and Mr. 2 to the 7, Fred Smoot, and the prospect professor, Logan Paulson. Fellas, it's crazy to think that the breaking news isn't one of the biggest drafts we've had in Washington history. It's that we are headed back home to RFK. Now, fellas, y'all did not get to play there. However, Logan Paulson, you actually got to play RFK.
The baby out
of the group got to play RFK in college. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I played a bowl game there. I think we played Temple, if I remember correctly. Again, like, it was one of those cool things, like kind of like when you play at Lambeau or you play at South Bend. There just felt like there was a ton of history in the stadium. And again, like, it was not its best version of itself, but it still had some of that cool nostalgia of the city, and really something I remember very fondly.
And Fred, even though you did not get to play there, you're a man of the people. You're with the people, right? You understand how important this is for DC. Can you talk about that a little bit and why the fans are so excited about this?
First of all, the intro we just had right there almost made me cry. And I never played at RFK, but I can only wonder with this fan base how they're thinking about with going back home. Like, I get to do what I got to do with my daddy. I got to do with my granddaddy. Like, it's so many memories. When you talk about championships in this city, they are all tied to RFK. Like, when you talk about beating the Cowboys in the NFC Championship, it's all tied to RFK. When you talk about Joe Theismann, you talk about Joe Gibbs, anybody name start with the word Joe, you think about RFK. Everything starts and ends there.
It's almost like a salute to that history, right? And we've seen that a lot where fans are like, hey, man, y'all can't forget the history. Well, now we're going back to that historic place 10. And when you look at that, man, I know you get excited because we do game days. We're going to be on that field, man. How excited are you to see this development take place and what it's going to do for the city?
I'm pumped for the city. I'm pumped for the fans to get that experience. I'm a little sad that I didn't get a chance to play there because I heard so much about the rich tradition and history there. But I've always said it for years when we was players, and now, 10 years now that we've been removed, I'm like, that's where the Super Bowls is won at. That's those teams that played in that stadium won the championships. We need to find a way to get back. So I'm geeked about it.
And man, we got to hear from our owner, the mayor. We got to hear from the commissioner, Roger Goodell. Let's take a listen to when they broke the news about us going back to RFK. It's time for your can't miss moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders.
When our ownership group started on this journey 2 years ago, we laid out 3 clear priorities: build a championship caliber team, improve fan experience, and make a positive impact on this community. Today's announcement is a key part of that vision. Let's come home.
I've been working on this for the 10 years that I've been mayor. And now we have the right partner at the right time. And Josh is someone who cares more than just about this franchise. He cares about doing the right thing. And he likes to win. You've heard me say that before. He knows how to put together a winning team. And throughout this process, it's been a cooperative one. We were joined in our goals to advance a deal that we could be proud of, a development that would serve the city for generations to come, and support the best professional sports franchise in the world.
Under Josh's leadership, this team has become a playoff team in a very short period of time. With this stadium, it will also become a leader off the field too. The Commanders' future is clearly a bright one.
What an opportunity, not only for this fan base, but for this community. It is huge. Now, the next steps will include a city council approval. For more information, you can visit commanders.com to figure out where we are at in the process. Now, 75% of us did not get to play at RFK, so we're going to bring in one of our guys. It's time to welcome in Super Bowl champion and future Hall of Famer who got to play there. Put cleats to the ground.
Yeah.
Brian Mitchell, my guy. It's time for the best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek. Welcoming in Super Bowl champion and future Hall of Famer, my brother Brian Mitchell. B, we were talking about RFK, and other than Logan Paulson, believe it or not, you are the only member of Command Center that has gotten to play there. Man, how happy were you to hear the news that the Commanders are headed back?
Well, I'm ecstatic. The thing about it, you know how hard it is to get in and out of Northwest over there, but it's easy to get in and out of RFK, the site. But ultimately, it's going to be back at home where people always loved it. I think it's bringing a lot of pride to the area. The guys, the fans in town will be able to just hang out. And when you start thinking about what they're talking about, 85 to 95 restaurant and bars around there, people were talking about tailgating. Hey, just pop in the bar. Let them pour you drinks.
Hey, B, tell me something. What was one of your most fondest memories about playing in that stadium?
Oh, man. My first punt return for a touchdown was in that stadium. We played against the Detroit Lions in the opening game of the season. We beat them 45-0. Beating the Atlanta Falcons to go in the NFC Championship game to make it to the Super Bowl and things like that. It's just moment after moment. Watching Art Monk become the all-time leading receiver guy at the moment in my second year there. It's just so many things happening in that stadium. And then also getting a chance to go to some parties there, watching Riddick Bowe fight in that stadium. It's moment after moment.
The crazy part, I looked at the Michael Jackson concert and I saw you with hair in the stands, and that just blew me away, Mitch. I personally didn't know what to do. Fast forward.
Hey, you know what, Fred? Michael and I came down to the stadium on a boat. You might want to think about that.
I got you on that one. Now, let's go to this draft, man. The one thing that I found real fun about this draft weekend is Adam Peters had a plan, and he executed that plan. Where you shocked when he went first round and went with a tackle to fortify that line for JD5 after watching all the pass rushers go to the New York Giants and the Cowboys and stuff like that. Were you shocked, or you were like, this seems like an Adam Peters pick?
Well, I wasn't shocked. I just say when you go get offensive linemen after they get in those D linemen, you want to protect your most important asset. And I think Jaden Daniels is that person. But the thing about Adam, he had put himself in a position where he didn't have to stretch for anything. He was able to stick to his board and go with the best player available. And when you look at Josh Connerly, he was the best player available for them at that time.
Yeah, B, in addition to the Connerly and Amos and all these other guys who you called, by the way, great job. The guy that I want to ask you about is Jalen Lane from Virginia Tech, man. He looks like he's got some special return ability. If you've been able to check him out, one of my favorite things to talk to you about is just what you see with good return men. So what do you see with him? How do you think he fits in that role?
He gets it and he goes. I had a guy today say he is the closest thing in the draft with the measurables as Tyreek Hill. Okay, I don't know if it's exactly that, but that's a good thing to say. The guy runs 4.34. He has a 40-inch vertical. He has 11-inch broad jump. So you know he has explosiveness. And he has an eye for the ball. I heard his coach talking about him, about what he wants to do to help his team out. And when they need a big moment, he seems to be able to just go out there and do it. So he has a knack for the big play. I can't wait to see him and even talk to him, because I've talked with Dan, and I want to talk to all these return guys and try to help them out a little bit. Tanner knows you catch the ball and you go. I've watched over the years guys catch the ball, settle, go this way, go that way. Now you got too many people close to you. If you have explosive speed, hit it, and then they'll have to worry about dealing with you instead of you worry about avoiding all of them.
Super Bowl champion Brian Mitchell. Before we let you go, brother, we got a running back. Last pick of our draft, 7th round, Ja'Cory Crosskey Merritt out of Arizona. I know you were excited about this pick. Tell us why. Tell us how you think he fits in with what we're already doing.
Well, this guy got messed over by the NCAA. Didn't get a chance to play us last year. But so he's a little healthier. But he has that ability as a running back to go out there and make big plays. He can catch the ball out the backfield. He can run the ball effectively. And I think if they give him a chance, you're going to find out. Sometimes the NFL does something stupid enough to where it helps out the team that picks a person. So I think Crosskey Merritt is going to be one of those guys in camp that people are going to be excited about.
Shout out to our guy, Brian Mitchell, future Hall of Famer. Brian Mitchell. You can catch him on game days and pregame and postgame with me and Santana Moss. B, we appreciate your time always, brother.
All right, Fred, me and you going to the first game at RFK on a boat.
I got you, baby.
Shout out to our guy, Brian Mitchell. Since we talking draft picks, let's take a look at the 5 guys that became Commanders this past weekend.
Ballhead!
Top 5 presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. Now, let's take a look at the Commanders' 2025 draft class. Of course, at number 29 in the first round, Josh Connerly Jr., the offensive tackle out of Oregon. In the second round, Trey Amos. We got our defensive back, Fred. Then round 4, we got our speedster, Tanner, and Jalen Lane. Then round 6, we got a linebacker in Kane Madrano, UCLA boy, like my boy Logan. And then round 7, we got that running back. Ja'Cory Crosskey Merritt was drafted in the 7th round by the Commanders. And you say, dog, we got a ton of dogs. We got 5 of them. But last Command Center, we talked heavily about Josh Connerly Jr. So if you want to go check that out after this episode. But let's give the other guys some love. Fred, I'm going to start with you because we got a defensive back in round 2. Trey Amos. Long, fast, all the things.
He didn't watch any film, man.
Of course I did. First of all, I love guys in this new NIL era that play up. Meaning, he started a Raising Cajuns, worked himself to Alabama, then transferred to Ole Miss. He has played against top-tier competition. Like you said, long, strong, fast. He's one of those guys, he's a jack of all trades. Not great at one thing, good at a little bit of everything. He's willing tackler. He's very good in man coverage. He's good in zone coverage. He's a guy that can get things done. He's most definitely a pro outside corner. And the depth that he's bringing into that room, and I'm not calling him a depth piece because he could easily be a starter by the time the season started, but it will be earned, not given. We got one in Trey Amos, and most people feel like he was a first-round grade. So we got a lot of upside and a lot of ability in getting him.
Yeah, I'm going to keep saying this because I said this on the draft show, but like his ability to track the football in the air is special. It's almost like he's got a receiver quality to it. He doesn't look out of control. He always plays the ball well. So that's something I'm really excited to see in this defensive back group.
And you talked about that. 16 pass deflections. That led the SEC. That is a guy Joe Witt Jr. covets. Now, Tanner, you know when we talk receiver, we got to go to you. Jalen Lane, we got a speedster there, man. How excited were you to see us add another weapon to Jaden Daniels' arsenal?
Yeah, I was very excited just to hear some of his measurables. I think if you're watching the draft and you're not watching it, you're listening to it, and you hear that 4.34, that 40-inch vert, that 11 broad jump. If you hear those numbers, you're thinking of a first-round draft pick. You're thinking of a dynamic, offensive talent. And then you see this guy's film, and you say, we picked that up in the 4th round? I mean, that's a steal for us. And then when you watch the film, you watch this guy play against my old alma mater, University of Miami. I saw reverser too. I saw a couple of catches that he just left guys in his dust. I mean, I think it's a great pickup for us. I think it's going to be great in the special teams area, whether he's running down kicks or, returning punts.
Yeah.
Then I also think he's going to be a great weapon on the offense.
Oh, ACC third team as a return specialist. Now, Logan, we got us a UCLA boy. You got very, very excited about Cade Madrano.
Bruin!
Why are you so excited? And I know it's not just because he's a Bruin.
No, it's because of the athlete. I think when you look at his athletic profile, it's really off the charts. Like he ran a 4.49. He ran one of the fastest three cones for a linebacker at the combine, and that's one of those tests that really correlates to athleticism in space.
Yeah.
And when you cut on the film, man, you see him playing kind of this star overhang role.
Yeah.
He's like running with receivers. He's taking on linemen. He's rushing the passer. He's just so flexible and so versatile. Like, the athleticism oozes off the tape. And when I see a guy drafted in the 6th round, kind of like what Tana's saying, you see a guy that can be something more than just a special teams guy. Sometimes you see guys be conservative, they take a safe pick there. This guy's got the athletic ceiling to be something impactful down the road. If the stars align, he knows Ken Norton Jr., like they work together, so that's an inside baseball track there for him. So I love the pick, love the athlete, got to work on his tackling a little bit, but I really like the ceiling for him.
His DNA and DNA oozes of a commander. Like when you hear what coaches say, the definition of a commander is well-rounded, hard-working, put on that hard hat and come to work. And that's what these guys are. That's what we got in this draft. And I think them later draft picks are steals. I think they are truly steals.
Kane also one of those guys that when I'm watching his tape, I'm saying to myself, man, he's a hybrid. He's a guy that, we can really just plug and play him on the defense and say, man, because he can cover, he's tall. I mean, you can say linebacker or we can even say safety. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing where they're going to line him up on the field because I see a guy who can just go out there and play the ball wherever you put him at.
Reminds us of that last year pick when we got Dominique Hampton, a guy that could play both. Very excited to see both of them on the field. Then the last one. Everybody was expecting us to take a running back, but they didn't really know when. Then we got Jacory Krosky Merritt. Now, Phyllis, I think this is a very interesting prospect because he didn't play up but one game last year. And it wasn't because of injuries, it was because of eligibility issues. So there's not a lot of miles on these tires, Fred. You gotta love that when getting a running back.
Well, when you get a running back fresh like this, so he's fresh, he's hungry. And one thing we talked about earlier that I didn't know, he played the first game of the year, then he didn't play again to the bowl game. And then he goes into that bowl game and gets MVP of that bowl game. That tells you where his mindset is. That tells you, kudos to everybody in the scouting department. Because you know how many teams probably missed him because he did not play? All right, so kudos to that team for crossing them T's, dotting them I's, doing their homework on the guy. I wouldn't be shocked if he's the surprise of this draft class.
Almost 1,200 yards in just 12 games in 2023. So this kid could play, but like you said, Fred, we might have got a diamond in the rough. And it was so great to see us knock it out the park again for our second draft of this new ownership and our general manager, Adam Peters. Let's take a listen to some of those calls where dreams were made by AP and DQ.
Just a great 3 days. So much good happened.
We're really pumped that we had another commander in the building.
With the 29th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Josh Connolly Jr., tackle, Oregon.
And I'm just here to win. That's the goal, and that's what I came here to do.
When you have a young quarterback, the best thing to do is build the offensive line in front of him, and that's what the Commanders are doing.
Washington Commanders selects Trey Amos, defensive back, Mississippi.
I had a first-round grade on Trey Amos. He was long, fast, physical.
Trey Amos go off the board at number 61. I had him number 28 overall.
What's up, Commanders family? Hey, man, I just can't wait to put in work, man.
I'm a big fan of Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech, who's now with the Washington Commanders, and what he brings to the table.
Has a really unique instinct with the ball in his hands. He's got a nose for the sticks and first down.
What's going on, Washington? Cade Madrano here. Can't wait to get out there and get to work. Go Commanders.
Tall, long, fastest linebacker at the combine. Ran, sub 4.5.
Jacory Krosky Merritt. This guy's one of my favorite sleepers in the entire draft class. The Arizona running back goes in the 7th round. He has incredible juice, and so I think he pairs nicely next to Brian Robinson and even nicer next to Jay Daniels.
Let's dive into how AP and company secured the W during the 2025 NFL Draft. It's time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fence. Security in every job. Take it away, Logan.
Thanks, Brian. So, guys, one of the things that we talked about Josh Connolly a ton in this draft, but there's other guys, 4 other guys in this draft class, and I want to talk about a couple of them here. And this is one of them, and he's the 7th round pick. Merritt. You know, he went to where did he go? Shoot,
He
went to New
went to
Mexico,
Mexico.
and then went to Arizona. Had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
Crazy, and everyone's like, "Why is he in the 7th round?" And what I see from him is just a crazy ability to be a runner.
Yeah.
So watch this. This run is kind of outside zone here. This ball is going to wind back around here, and he's going to hit it front side. You're going to see his vision. You're going to see his burst. You're going to see his power.
Yep.
Whoop. And fit in there, and then the balance. The ability to run, break through tackles.
That one-step lateral. That one-step lateral movement right there as a defensive back. If I'm coming in and I'm trying to force him back inside, no, I can't. He's gone right now. It's one step, then I'm getting down here right there. That's elite for a running back.
No doubt. Not only that, he got skinny in that hole, too. He put that one step in the ground. You saw that lane, got back skinny in that hole, and got, north and south.
And I think that's the thing that's really underrated with running backs. Everyone talks about speed, height, explosiveness. The vision is elite with this guy, man. And then, so the other thing is watch this vision here, too, right? Same type of deal. We're going to press to the front side. We're going to get these linebackers to sink over the top. I'm going to find the crease right through here. And then I got the ability to hit the home run if I need to and watch him get downhill right there in the gap.
Now.
Great vision. And then I'm going to put in some work here. What'd you call it, Tanner? Pick him up, put him down.
Pick him up and put him down. Little Reggie Bush right there.
Yeah, and get into that end zone, man. That's big. That's a big-time run. And for a guy that you're getting in the 7th round.
Yeah. And understand, he's only in the 7th round because he didn't get to play his senior year. So maybe a diamond in the rough right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got our guy, Kane Medrano, right?
I love him.
He's a Bruin, man, and he's a fun guy to watch. Converted wide receiver. You watch him here, kind of working through some traffic, kind of working down, but watch him penetrate.
Converted wide receiver.
Yes.
Get down here, make this tackle,
That's what
man.
I'm talking about.
He's got something to him, man.
No, he's a football player. Some people, you just put him on the field, we'll find out what position you are later. Like this guy right here, find football, go get football. And that's what he does.
And he's got the athletic juice. Now, this is one of the craziest plays I've seen in this cycle, right? So they're going to run GT. They're going to pull these guys here. He's got to fit this run up and downhill right in here. So he's got to step up. This is his gap, right? But hey, a lot of people run this. Commanders run this. They're going to run a little fake GT, run a screen. He's not in the shot, man.
He's not in the shot.
He's in a different zip code.
Yes.
But keep watching, man. This movie gets real interesting here.
Really watch this play because this guy comes out of nowhere. Where you going? Where are you going without me? This is unbelievable.
That is an unbelievable play. And he's hunting for that ball, man. You see that? He punched down that football.
I always tell my kids, you can't teach effort and hustle.
And so he had 2 forced fumbles last year, 3 interceptions. He knows how to get the ball out. Really explosive defensive weapon, but offensively, and from a special team standpoint, Tana, I look at this guy and I'm like, this guy has the juice, man. He's got some juice. He's going to run a little post right here, but he puts a little seasoning on this and loses this DB for him.
Oh, she's going to double him up.
It reminds me of 8-10-3 that used to play for the Jets not too long ago. You know what I'm saying?
They used to call me 8 Trey back then.
I'm just saying that.
And so that's impressive. But watch him catch this football,
he catches everything.
I know he's playing quarterback here, but this is a big boy catch, man.
Yes, it is.
Dropping open that hip, getting behind the ball, like
over the middle.
And then turning and going.
That's an impressive catch, man. And so, again, that's one element of his game, that explosive receiver. But this takes some courage, man. This is a tight punt catch here, right?
You got to have a couple of screws missing when you're a punt returner. Because if you're going to run up in there in the teeth of that defense that's coming down at you without no fear and catch that ball like that and get missing, you're a special breed.
And then I think he's also, Tandy, you see his strength, right? The strength in his lower half, had 11-foot broad jump, 40-inch vertical. That shows up when he's running the football, man. And he's got the ability to break tackles and then get out of here, right? So I think about what that does for teams, what it does for this team. It's really exciting, right? Now let's talk about Amos. He's going to be over here on the, what is this, the right hand of your screen?
Yes, it is.
And watch him make a break on this football, man.
Fred Smoot wish he had skills like
he
that.
reminds me of a young Fred Smoot. The way he goes, listen to me, the anticipation he had on that. Not only just the anticipation, we're talking about the ball skills on it. This is elite ball skills right here. But this play right here, it says that I'm a football player. I'm going to hand him off to the safety, and I'm going to do somebody else's job. The speed turn at the top of this route, and the way he went got this ball was magical.
Dude, and it's incredible because this right now, this is going to play like man. He's got him. You've got him, right? But look at the awareness, man. I've got help here. I've got 5 here, right? You said, Tana. And I'm going to pass this off. Do more than I know. Do more than my job. And
overcome coaching, baby.
It's hard to coach that level of awareness, man.
Yes.
And I look at this, man, and there's a 7th, 5th, there's a 7th, 6th, and a 3rd round guy. But I think all these guys could play for the Washington Commanders and have a role this year going to 2025, which is extremely exciting.
Always great hearing from the prospect professor, Logan Paulson. I learned something. I know you guys learned something too. Now, Washington has an exciting season coming up with these new rookies. Now, as we look ahead to rookie minicamp, Washington brought in some undrafted free agents. Robert McDaniel, the safety out of Jackson State. He's a big name there. Ja'Cory Brooks out of Louisville, wide receiver. That's another big name. Trey Rucker, another safety. See, we added a lot of safeties. He's out of Oklahoma State. But speaking of safety, we got a minicamp invite. We're bringing some family back. Gabe Taylor. We'll talk about that and much more next Command Center. And speaking of rookie minicamp, let's take a look at some other important dates throughout the Commanders offseason. It's time for your winning numbers, presented by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. Now, we are wrapping up phase 1. However, there are still a ton of dates that are important. Rookie minicamp is on the way. We have phase 2, we have phase 3, but I know what you guys are wondering. When will the schedule be released? That will be May 14th. Now, Commanders fans, you know it's all about y'all, and we made it that way last weekend at the National Harbor when we celebrated our 2025 NFL Draft. Let's take a look at how dope that moment was.
BC, man of the people.
First of all, you would think the guys that actually got cheered for, that's who they came to see. But no, they came to see BC.
I'm an extension of y'all.
Yeah, but guess what? No, that's the star right there.
Nah, I'm an extension of y'all. This is a crazy edit.
Look,
We did
Brian
not see this
Oprah
beforehand.
Colbert.
This is nuts.
The boy can't get away. Look at him.
Look at him. I'm just showing love. I'm on my first book right there. You know what I mean?
Nah,
And you know he's gonna talk
this
to
is
him.
more than that.
You know he's gonna talk to him.
This is when you know you got BC when that chin go up. That's when you know he's showing you love.
Oh man, this is making me extremely uncomfortable, guys. I can't even front. This is making me extremely uncomfortable.
This is how you become a band of the people.
You are absolutely right about that. But honestly, all truly jokes aside, man, that was just so cool, man. Just to see the fans and the people, because again, they making jokes, it's all funny. So they're not just coming to talk to me, they're coming to talk to me about the work we're doing. And we appreciate y'all so much for watching, for subscribing, for commenting, for talking to us about it. I can speak for all of us and say it means so much to us. It's the coolest part of our job is getting to be with the people and spend time there, man. It was so cool to see the amount of people that came out. It was raining, inclement weather, but Commander fans don't care. The best fans in the NFL did not care. They still showed up and showed out like they did all season. Now, Fred, Tanner, you guys were there, man. How great was it to be amongst the people? Because I promise, they took way more pictures and signed way more autographs than I did.
Unlikely. I didn't see any of that. I'm just going to assume you only took pictures.
We got to start bringing Logan out a little more so he can feel what we feel. But I always tell him, man, anytime we around the people, around the fans, sign me up. I love that part of it. I think because you get a chance to play for so long or just play, period, and you see those guys cheering you on and being there for you and supporting you. And now, years later, they treat us just like we still out there running up and down that field, man. So that goes to show you how loving this fan base is and why, as a player, I wanted to win so much for them.
Listen, watching that film and watching old Brian Oprah Colbert go out there and kiss those babies and shake those hands, it shows the appreciation the fans have for the small things that we do. Yeah. And that's why when we go out there and we get a chance to talk to them, that's our chance to show appreciation to them. Yeah, sure. I love to shake their hand and say, thank you, man, thank you for cheering, because every time you talk to them, they got something that we've done that's time-stamped in their life. They remember, I remember in 05, I remember in 06, I remember in 07. Like, so we a piece of their history. I want to let them know y'all a piece of our history. And it'll always be like that.
And it's cool because the team's kind of earning that trust back. At these events, more and more people are coming out. We're getting there's new fans involved, and I think that's cool. Like, it's cool what we're doing, but the team is really the thing that drives that. And like, it's good to have all these people coming back to the organization.
So thank you, Jedi 5.
And for somebody that didn't play for Washington, like for me, man, I just appreciate being welcomed so much. Y'all welcomed me so much. Y'all been so kind to me. These guys have been great. The chemistry has been amazing, and we're gonna keep it going. I ain't going nowhere. None of us is going nowhere. This has become home, and that is because of our amazing Washington fans. For Logan Paulson, Fred Smoot, Brian Mitchell, Mr. 8 to the 9 Santana Moss, I'm Brian Colbert Jr. This is Command Center. Until next week, we out. Shout out to the fans, baby.
They're gonna start calling you Brian Oprah Jr.